Hey y'all, it's Alex and you are watching Peach Perfect. Thanks so much for tuning in. So today I'm going to be kind of doing something a little different. I've gotten a lot of questions about my pregnancy and delivery and postpartum and all of that kind of stuff. So I kind of figured I'd kind of go over some of the things that I least expected while pregnant, during delivery, and since I have given birth to my little baby boy. So before I get into everything, as usual, I'm going to go over our little reminders. So one, if you are new to my channel, welcome. I am so happy to have you here. Please hit that subscribe button because I've got a lot of awesome videos coming up soon that you do not want to miss out on. Two, I do have an Amazon wish list, so if there's something in particular that you would like to see me try on or review, you can definitely check that out. I've got lots of goodies on there. And three, I do have a Patreon account, so if there is a more exclusive side to me that you would like to see, you can definitely check that out. I post weekly exclusive selfies and videos that you're not going to find anywhere else other than my Patreon account. So now, don't mind me, I'm kind of looking down just because I made kind of like a little list. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of talk about the 10 things that I least expected, like I said, with either pregnancy or delivery or postpartum. So the first thing is, and I know that this might be a kind of touchy subject, but this was something that we dealt with, and I can't help that it was this way for us. I did not expect to get pregnant as easily as I did. And so again, you know, this isn't me trying to like rub it in anybody's face. That's not my intention at all. It's just, you know, we've been together 10 years. We've been careful. And I've always been on birth control, and I've been on the same birth control for like 12 years. And honestly, I don't know why, but there was just a part of me that kind of thought, and I've never been pregnant before, we've never tried before, we never wanted kids. Like when we got together, we've been together 10 years, and when we got together, we never wanted children. Like that was one thing that we were so in agreement on when we first got together, was that we never wanted kids. So the fact that we changed our minds and wanted children was kind of crazy anyway. But I guess the crazy thing about me getting pregnant was, once we decided that we were going to try, it was kind of one of those things that it was like, okay, you know what, like we're not going to be the people that invest, you know, 50 grand in trying to get pregnant if we can't get pregnant. Not that there is anything wrong with that, not even close to anything wrong with that, but we were fine without children. But then there was a part of us that kind of decided that we did want children, so we would have been fine if we didn't, but we were happy to try once we got to that point that we wanted to try. So we said, you know what, I'm going to go off birth control, and we're going to give it like 6 months, because I didn't want to be off birth control because my birth control took away my period, because I have vicious periods. And so I didn't want to be off too long, just because I didn't want to have to deal with all the things that I deal with when I have periods and when I'm not on birth control, acne and hormones and periods and all that crazy stuff. So I said, you know what, let's give it 6 months. And if we're not pregnant, then, you know, it wasn't meant to be. Whatever, cool. We'll be fine without it. So I got off my birth control December of 2019, and I was pregnant January 2020. So we tried one time, and I mean 1 month, and I was pregnant. And again, please don't bombard me. This is not me trying to rub it in anybody's face. I know that fertility issues are very painful and miscarriages are very painful, and I get it. I get it. I'm not trying to rub it in. I'm just talking about what we went through. And that is one thing that I did not expect I did not expect that I was going to get pregnant the first month, the first try. So that was really, really not at all what we expected. And I was completely blown away that that happened. I took the pregnancy test and, just kind of going, oh, I'm not going to be pregnant. But I kind of felt weird. My boobs were hurting and I kind of had some weird indigestion that like wasn't explained with any like certain type of food or anything. And so I took one and my husband was in the bathroom with me and it only showed up one line. And so I was like, okay, whatever, like not expecting to be pregnant. And I was getting ready to stand up and wipe and all that kind of stuff. And I got up and I grabbed the pregnancy test to throw in the trash can, and all of a sudden I see this faint second line, and I'm like, there's a second line now. Okay. And so I'm looking at it and I show him and he's like, oh, it's so faint. And I'm like, no, even if it's faint, if there's a second line, that's positive. And so I immediately took another one and it was the same thing, except the second line kind of showed up much faster. So I immediately burst into tears because I'm like terrified because I didn't think that it was going to happen. And I didn't think that it was going to happen that fast. And he's like, no, this is exciting. And I'm like, yeah, it is exciting, but I'm still terrified. And so, yeah, so that is definitely the first thing that I was not expecting. And again, please don't get mad at me. I'm not trying to rub it in anybody's face that we got pregnant that easily. My heart goes out to anybody that's dealing with fertility issues. I know it's not easy, and we are very lucky that we were able to go through what we went through. So let's see. The next thing is I really, that was one reason that I never really wanted kids, because I didn't want to get pregnant, because I knew that I wasn't going to enjoy being pregnant, but I really, really did not enjoy being pregnant. And again, this isn't me trying to be, oh my gosh, well, you're just lucky that you can get, I know I was lucky to get pregnant, but I still hated the way I felt. So I had extreme nausea, extreme indigestion in the first trimester. Luckily, I never threw up. Goldfish was my saving grace. Literally, I ate goldfish all the time. As long as I stayed full and kept my stomach full, then I didn't really get nauseated. But the second that I got even like 1 ounce hungry, oh, I don't know how I didn't throw up. My boobs hurt, obviously. And then I started getting food aversions. I eat scrambled eggs or fried eggs every single morning. I'm obsessed with eggs. And I couldn't even look at eggs without getting nauseated. I mean, I couldn't eat them for months, and that made me so mad because I love eggs and it's such an easy thing and it's high protein. And so it was very hard for me, and it took me even a while after I delivered to kind of get over that. And now I'm finally back to normal, thank goodness, because I love my eggs. One weird thing is that I got a lot of skin tags, and I don't know, I guess it was something with the hormones, but I mean, I had them everywhere. I would get them like on my arms, I'd get them in my armpits, I'd get them like on my stomach. I was getting them on my neck, and I mean, they were just little ones, but I was getting skin tags everywhere. My husband was loving it because he's like, ooh, let me tie string around it and cut them off. And I'm like, get away from me, I'm already in enough pain. Obviously, I was peeing all the time, and I mean, like, up to like 5-6 times in the middle of the night, like every 20 minutes during the day from like middle second trimester on. Third trimester, we're not even going to talk about. I mean, I should have just lived on the toilet. I peed all the time. Sleepless nights, and I already suffered from insomnia beforehand, so that was absolutely horrendous. Exhaustion and out of breath. I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty in shape person, and we would go on our little mile walk in our neighborhood, and I'd be like 10 steps in and I'd be gasping for air. I mean, he was big, he was 9 pounds, so he literally was sitting like up in my rib cage. So I was really struggling to breathe the last trimester. And I think everyone thought I was just being dramatic, but I really wasn't. I really could I was really struggling to breathe. It was not fun. I had horrible pains on my abdomen from my uterus growing, and I never got like true contraction pain until I was actually like truly in labor. But I would get these like shooting pains in my abdomen and like down in my hoo-ha that were absolutely horrendous, like all third trimester. Horrible back pain, and I already have back problems, but horrible back pain. Obviously my boobs hurt, like I said before. I was just uncomfortable because he was so big and I'm so small. I really had a hard time walking and moving and bending down. And I know that every pregnant woman deals with that, but he was 9 pounds and I'm a tiny little thin woman, small framed woman. So I was really uncomfortable. So that was the second thing that kind of blew me away, that I really hated it even more than I thought I would. And God, I hated it. I hated being pregnant. And so that brings me to the third thing. I was blown away at the mom shaming for not loving being pregnant. And what I mean is like, you know, if I'd get on Facebook or if I'd get on Instagram, or if somebody would ask me like how I'm feeling, and I'd say, you know, if I didn't say, oh, I'm perfect, this is great, you know, like I'm just glowing, you know, I would immediately get the, you're just lucky to be pregnant. You know, you need to stop complaining. No, duh, I'm lucky to be pregnant. I'm not complaining in that regard. I'm complaining just because I'm lucky to be pregnant doesn't mean that I have to enjoy being pregnant and feeling like crap all the time. And so I really was turned off by that. And I know that the people that were doing this meant well, but it was still just kind of irritating because it wasn't me not being grateful that I could get pregnant. It was, I still felt like crap, and you're asking me how I feel. And I felt like everyone just wanted me to kind of say, oh, I'm feeling great. And I didn't feel great. And I don't want women to feel like they have to say they feel great just to make everyone think that they're a good mother. I was a good mother, and I'm still a good mother, and I didn't enjoy being pregnant. And so if you're one of those people, stop. Don't make it about that. I'm grateful that I was able to get pregnant, but that doesn't mean that I have to enjoy all the crappy and horrible things that come along with being pregnant, because it's not, I did not enjoy it. And so the women that enjoy it and love being pregnant, kudos, my hat's off to you, because I did not find any of it fun at all. And I just couldn't believe that I was getting like guilt trips for feeling that way. And it was really kind of annoying. And so I kind of made it a point to continue, you know, yes, these are the milestones that I'm going through, but these are also the horrible things that I'm going through at this point that I don't like. And because I want women to feel like they can express how they feel, because you don't need to bottle it up just because you're worried about hurting someone's feelings, who's going to say, you just need to be thankful. I am thankful. I am grateful. I am lucky that I could get pregnant, but that doesn't mean that I have to enjoy every horrible thing that comes along with it. So seriously, if you're one of those people, just stop. It's super annoying. There was a little bit of, the fourth thing, there was a little bit of unsolicited advice. Luckily, since I was pretty much in quarantine the entire time that I was pregnant, and pregnant, I mean, because I got pregnant in January, and basically everything here shut down in like, March. So I had like a month and a half of normalcy. But I definitely, whether it was patients, whether it was family, whether it was friends, whether it was people out on the street, just like things that were said, it was just kind of interesting, because I wasn't asking for advice. I wasn't asking for anything. And I would just get these comments that I'm just sitting there going, in the back of my mind, I'm just rolling my eyes and just smiling and going, great, thanks. Oh, you're going to get stretch marks, and you're going to do this, and you're never going to get your body back. And it's like, thank you. And that's that part, the unsolicited advice and slash this fourth thing is going to be unsolicited, but also the negativity. I think that's actually the number one thing that blew me away, was how negative people were about it. From the very beginning. I mean, just horrible things, comments on my Instagram, and especially from men. And this is when men need to grow the F up. How dare you get on a woman's social media or say it to her face, or how dare you even that even come to your mind, that the one thing that you're thinking of is, wow, your body's going to be ruined. How dare you? How dare you? That is, I am blown away that anybody could ever say something like that, especially a man, when your body, in comparison to ours, from creating standpoint, is pretty much worthless. And I can't believe that anybody would ever say something like that, especially to a pregnant woman who's hormonal and ready to break and crack and snap at any given moment. And I still get some of those comments. Like, I'll look at some of my YouTube comments and some of my pregnancy pictures in the past, and wow, your body was so much hotter before. Well, thanks. Like, one, screw you, but two, like, what do you think you're going to accomplish? I'm getting pregnant. I'm almost back to completely normal, and it's only been 3 months. But it's just, I was blown away by the negativity. It was instead of, whenever my friends or cousins or family or whatever, whoever I've found out, whether it's patients, whether it's a stranger, when I found out somebody is pregnant or expecting, it's immediately, oh my gosh, congratulations, like, this is going to be a great new chapter. Anybody that I told, especially before the shutdown, like when I was at work or people at the gym or wherever it was, ooh, wow, get ready to never have time for you again. Get ready to never sleep again. Wow, your body's never going to be the same. Man, you're never going to be able to retire now. And I'm just sitting there going, why would you think to say something like that? So again, if you're one of those people that does that, stop. It's really, really rude, and it's really unnecessary. And I can't believe that that's what you think to say to somebody who's pregnant. It's ridiculous. There was a lot of negativity, and I think that out of everything that I experienced was the number one thing that I was blown away at. I still have time for myself. Is it less? Yeah, but I still take a shower in the morning. I still take a shower at night. My son's asleep right now. He's taking a nap. Typically I'm doing a lot of my work right now in one weekend. So I'm kind of getting a bunch done for like a month. But typically when he's napping, I go and work out. I work out for a full hour. I go and warm up, I stretch, I do a full workout. I take a shower after, I sit down, I have my protein shake after. I go and get my nails done every 3 weeks. I still have time for me. We still are saving up money to retire. I'm still spending time alone with my husband. I'm still sleeping. Yeah, is it less? 100%, but he's also 3 months old, and it's going to be less when they're young, and as they get older, you're going to get more. I guess it's just, again, I'm just blown away at how negative people are when they're talking to you about pregnancy. And they came, I was walking, and they're going, oh, what are you going to do about stretch marks? You're going to get horrible stretch marks because you're so big. And I'm like, I'm 7 months and I haven't gotten any yet. Oh, no, they're coming. And I'm just going, so it's just, if you're one of those people, just stop. Just say congratulations. Say have fun. Say, what can I do to help? Anything other than your body's gonna suck. You're gonna be exhausted. Yeah, I am tired, but I'm still getting sleep. I mean, it's just, I cannot believe how negative people are, and I can harp on this another 2 hours because I really was really disappointed in people about that. Okay. The next thing, this is kind of random, but I was surprised at how hard it was for us to pick out a name. Very difficult to pick out a name. He would like one that I didn't like, and I would like one that he didn't like. And oh gosh, I used to date that, or oh gosh, God, my nanny used to be called that, or oh God, that actress's name is that, whatever the case was. So it was very, very, very difficult. And his name is Maddox Everett Mosby. And we were kind of bouncing back and forth between like 5 first names and like 5 middle names. And we really had narrowed it down to like 1 or 2 first and middle. And finally, a couple weeks before, we finally decided on that. And it was so hard. And I'm not going to say the other ones just yet, because who knows if we'll have another child. So the ones that I like, I want to keep secret for now. So now I'm kind of moving on to like more of like the actual delivery and postpartum stuff. So one thing that no one ever talked about, and sorry if this is getting a little graphic, but no one ever talked about this, is I had no idea that after you give birth that there is the amount of blood that comes out of your body, and that like every 3 hours a nurse has to come into the room and push as hard as they physically can down on to your abdomen into your uterus to shrink your uterus and to push out excess blood. I did not know that, and I don't know how no one ever told me that, but I did not expect that. And it kind of freaked me out at the beginning, because I'm just sitting there and you're feeling it come out and you're seeing it come out. And every time the nurse came in and checked, and I would almost break into tears. It hurt so bad. Every time a nurse came in the room, yep, we're gonna shrink your uterus, and they come in and they just push down as hard as they could, and it's just gushing out of you, and it hurts so bad. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. And that also goes along with that I did not know that when you're breastfeeding right after you give birth, it's actually sending signals for your uterus to shrink, because the baby's no longer in there, and you get almost as severe of labor pains as you really do when you're in labor. I mean, they are extreme, whether it's they're actually latching or you're pumping. I did not know that. I did not know that you were going to get basically contraction pains all over again right after, the next couple of days. I had mine for about 2 weeks. Every time he breastfed or I pumped, I would get the most horrific contraction pains ever. Never knew that. Did not expect it. No one ever talks about that. So thanks a lot, all you women that don't talk about that, because I did not expect that. Which leads me to my next one, which I knew that labor was going to be like painful, but I did not expect the level of pain that I got. I wish there was a way to just like put me in a coma for that, especially if we ever decide to do that again, because I really don't want to go through that again. It was pretty horrific. I had horrible back labor. They had to give me a specific, I got an epidural, and I don't care what anybody thinks. That was my choice, because I know that that's controversial also, and that was one of the things that I got a lot of unsolicited advice about. Oh, you're being selfish if you get an epidural. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't really care, because it put me in a place that I could actually deal with 6 hours, 8 hours of labor, but 3.5, almost 4 hours of actual pushing labor. So you know what? We're not even going to go down that road. I got an epidural, and it was wonderful, and I recommend every woman on the face of the planet get one. And if I ever have another child, I will get an epidural, hands down, no questions asked. But that was pretty horrific, and they had to give me another dose of an epidural that went up higher, because I was having rib cage and back labor. I could barely breathe. It hurt so bad. They would tell me that another contraction was coming up, and I would just start crying, and I'm going, oh my God, please make it go away. And once I got the epidural, it was manageable. It still hurt, and especially up in the rib cage and in the back. And then once they gave me that special, I don't even know what it's called, but it was like the special thing that kind of went up further. It was very manageable. Thank goodness somebody came up with that. Whoever came up with the epidural is brilliant. Okay, so I never realized how hard breastfeeding and pumping is, not only physically, but mentally. My hat is off to any mama that does this for any amount of time, but especially mamas that go, months and years doing this, because it is not easy. My breastfeeding journey has been a little different because he has eaten like an outrageous amount of food since day one, and my body just I couldn't tell, obviously, when you're breastfeeding, like truly them breastfeeding, opposed to pumping, you don't know how much they're getting. And so he would be latched on for like 2, 3, 4 hours, and my nipples were about to fall off. It was all my time was being spent doing that. And so luckily I'm a milk machine, and I'm able to produce a ton of milk. I've already got like about a half a deep freezer completely stocked full of breast milk. So I've been really fortunate with that. But even just pumping, you're tied to a clock. I just finished up pumping right before I started taping this. And, I do it about every 3 to 4 hours. He's been sleeping through the night on and off since 6 weeks. And he just turned 3 months 2 days ago. And, there are very few nights that he actually doesn't sleep through the night. And even the nights that he does sleep through the night, my husband sleeps through the night, I'm still setting an alarm clock and doing it in the middle of the night, because I'm such a big producer. I can't wait the entire night, or I get so engorged and I'll get clogged ducts and it's just a big mess. And so I'm still doing it every single night. I have not gotten a full night's sleep in probably 8 months. And again, I'm still sleeping. To those people that are saying that, you're never going to sleep again, I'm still sleeping. It's just interrupted sleep. But it's hard. It's hard. And I've gotten a couple of clogged ducts before. I thought I was getting mastitis actually this week, and I was able to unclog it, I think, like in the brink of time, because I was starting to get chills and fever, and I felt terrible, and it's so painful, and engorgement is so painful, and it's just not easy. It's not easy. And that's why also all these people that are so awful about breastfeeding mothers, like in public, it's like you don't even realize, especially men that want to go down that path, it's like you don't even realize how hard it is. Don't make it even more difficult for people that are doing it, because it's hard. I didn't expect that, and again, I'm lucky that I'm able to produce what I am, but it's still very difficult. And I've set a goal of 6 months. I'm halfway there. I don't know if I'll make it, because some days I'm producing a ton, some days I'm not producing a lot. One day this one's going crazy, the next day this one's going crazy. Some days I'm super engorged, other days I'm not. Some days I'm getting clogged ducts, some days I'm not. So it's just, we'll see if I can make it to 6 months. That's my ultimate goal, but we'll see. But it's very difficult. So mamas, I feel your pain. It's a lot of work. So I've only got 2 more. The one that I think, the one that comes like close second to what I didn't expect the most was how emotional you are after. For about 3 weeks, I just cried, and I don't think I ever had postpartum depression, because I wasn't sad, I wasn't angry, I just was emotional. Like, I'd be in the shower and I would just be sobbing, and for no reason, like it would just hit me, like it would just come over me in a wave, and I didn't have any explanation for it. And my parents were here for like the first week, and obviously my husband was here, and they'd look at me and they'd be like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I'm just crying. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know why I'm doing this." Like, nothing triggered it. It was just like all of a sudden, bam, it was like a light switch. I just start sobbing. And also, like in the hospital, sorry, sucked down the wrong way. Maddox would just like look at me, and I think it was like that like motherly instinct that I never really thought that I would have, because I never really wanted kids. It would just like hit me. He would look at me and I'd just like burst into tears. And I'm just looking at my husband and I'm like, I don't know where this is coming from. I just love him so much. Oh my God, how is this even possible? Like, this is so weird. I don't know why I'm crying. So I definitely did not expect how emotional you get after giving birth. Definitely did not. And I've been fine ever since. Like, so I really don't think it was ever postpartum depression. I just think it was hormones. Because I've been very happy. I've been, you know, myself. I mean, yeah, I can get overwhelmed some days, but nothing crazy, nothing that's concerned me to make me think that I've had postpartum depression. And then that kind of leads me to the last thing that I kind of already mentioned is I'm so surprised that you can love something so much that you barely even know. You know, he does, he comes out and you're just looking at him, and you know, we had some complications when he was born. The umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck, and he had some breathing issues because he had sucked down, inhaled a bunch of my amniotic fluid, and so they had to like immediately take him away from me, and they had to shove these like long plastic tubes down his throat and like clear his lungs because he was having like really trouble breathing. And I'm sitting there, and you know, here I am gushing blood and ripped open, and you know, the doctor's working on me, and I'm just going, oh my God, is he okay? What's wrong? You know, because they're working on him, and it's very strange how that instinct kind of kicks in. And I just, being somebody that never really wanted kids, it definitely kind of, I think, hit me even harder, because you just love this little creature that you created, and you don't even know him. Like, I mean, I still barely even know him. I've only known him for 3 months, and I'm obsessed with him. So I never really understood people saying the things that they said about having children until he's been mine. And it's pretty cool. I'm very happy that I did it. Some days I'm not so happy that I did it. Today we had a massive blowout, and we've changed three outfits because there's been pee and poop everywhere, and poop all over me and poop all over him, and scream fits. And you know, some days I'm going, oh my God, what did I do? But I'm very happy that we decided to have a child, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been hard. It's been the hardest thing I've ever done in every single way, but it's a lot of fun, and it's really fun seeing all the things that he's starting to do and notice, and you know, his personality's kind of starting to come out, and I think he's gonna have a big personality, which doesn't surprise me because both of his parents have big personalities. But yeah, so those are the things that I definitely least expected, from pregnancy to delivery to postpartum. So if y'all have any more questions, you can definitely feel free to leave them in the comments or DM me on Instagram or email me. But I just figured this would be a good way to kind of lump a lot of things together by doing this kind of video. But I hope that y'all enjoyed that, and I hope y'all are having a fantastic weekend, and I will see y'all soon. Mwah.